Hello, this is George Lees. Up in the Grampians in Scotland now, visiting one of the royal crime scenes in the form of GLAMS Castle. It has two spellings for obfuscation reasons. One's GLAMS and one is Glamis. It took me ages to suss that out as a simpleton. This is the simpleton that is again surrounded by oak trees for the pagan cult. This is massively involved in the massive religious wars all across Europe that led to the Pilgrim Fathers sailing within a few years of the 30 Years' War to America. And those oak trees, every one of them, is an icon for the pagan cult. Let's go up a little bit closer and take a look. Okay, there are the acorns on the ground and the oak leaves that were on the Nazi uniforms for the Third Reich for Hitler, and Calpurnius PISO CP was emblazoned on the shoulders of Dad's Army's uniforms in the massive piss take that is every great conflict. And I've been reading out to the punters of Dundee and my surveillance team this morning all of the shenanigans here that led to the writing of the Macbeth film, and the blood on their hands is actually the blood of Rothschild, and the shagging of the Queen Victoria's women that make all of the descendants from her totally illegitimate, because that is Nathan Mayer Rothschild and Lionel Mayer Rothschild, who were the parents of 9 of Queen Victoria's 11 kids. 2 of them, one was sired by John Brown at the end of her life, or her ovulating cycles, and the other one was sired first of all, before all of the others, to make her a legitimate claimant to the throne. It was sired by blind Prince George of Cumbria and Teviotdale, and he's the Prince of Hanover, who was blinded by God, because this is the premeditated plans to make Queen Victoria. They would have preferred her to be a male child, but that held them back by only 12 to 14 years. And the picking of the date for her is linked into the number 8. This is another political decision that we're going to make, and the links of the number 13 are that this is a new political initiative in the leadership of the whole globe, all of it launched by the Rothschild siring tool. And I've told you the story about how Abe Lincoln is married, is Rothschild. I've told you that is the links to Hanks, Nancy Hanks, and that is Tom Hanks, and all of the Rockefeller bloodline. So you can see now, this looks like the beginning of Madonna's video, based in Alnwick Castle, and I've learned that the Percys that are linked to Alnwick Castle, that's the Pierce family, are also, this is quite stunning, and it's on Hillary Clinton's bloodline too, so all of them are related to Shimon Peres, and that is the Percy links to Perez of Israel, and the massive shenanigans to hand the ownership of the world, according to Greg Hallett, over to Israel in 2011. Shimon Peres died last year. The gods are getting them all, but the link there of Percy to Perez, and Barbara Pierce being the mother of George W. Bush, and the wife of Herbert Poppea Bush, that take you right back into the Roman bloodlines. And Queen Elizabeth II's Elizabeth name is a huge joke about her mother being a maid from downstairs in this castle or being a maid from downstairs in the Irish aristocracy. And she then had to be, as the whipping boy, look up Greg Hallett number 3 and the massive scams that make all of them illegitimate Rothschild bastards. And then the next generation, through Princess Diana's attempts to get revenge, because Camilla and Charles sired children, one of which is employed in the stables of GLAMS Castle. She used to come to Kelso races every time there was a race meeting there, or a 3-day event meeting, in her jodhpurs, and she'd talk to me, but she's dead scared that the truth will come out. The other child, she's totally nameless through all of world history, even with Greg Hallett's insight. So that is the stables. They are the icons for Jesus, who never lived, and the PISO family's horseshoe that is on the Paschal candle every Easter Sunday. Yet, do you get it? The pagans get culled, the witches get culled, everything that is not believing in Jesus, which is totally faked up by the PISOs, and the naming of Queen Elizabeth and the little Lisbeth, she has the Bono word in her name, and she was born in a pub in central London, and all of the killings of the people in the birthing chamber for Commoner Kate are all part of these royal ancient rituals to show that they have the power to kill anything that moves or gets in their way. That's why Greg Hallett has been taken down and taken out, because his books proclaim that this is how you take over the whole world. They have no flag flying, and this is the man who first built this, is Graham of Claverhouse, and that is Bonnie Dundee, and he was fighting for, I cannot remember whether it was the Covenanters or the royalty family, or what they were actually fighting for in the Covenanters wars. But Graham was a massive killer, a brutal man allegedly, and he was in this before it passed to Bowes-Lyon. The Bowes-Lyons that were in it and married to the King and Queen are huge fakes, because the Bowes-Lyons realised that they were going to be married to George VI, the stammering king, who was incapable of siring competent children. His children earlier, with the real Bowes-Lyon, died on the gurney, so she fled to Denmark, where she lived a happy life with a normal and competent man who was not taking his country as an imbecile into the war. And that is the brother of the abdicated king, who spent all of his time partying in Paris with Mrs. Simpson, the sexual deviant, in her third marriage partnership. And they waited for the divorce to come through in the massive Candy Schloss in Austria, and Hitler and his officials attended their wedding. It is a massive profiteering exercise, and goodness knows who that one is. Yet they've got the globe in their hands, and they've got I forget what you call the stick that the monarch is given. It doesn't even have a label, this one. But the child that was born of that marriage to blind Prince George was Marcus Manuel. He was later murdered by the British Royals, and all of that is the orca fat George VII. Maybe not George, he was fatter than he was tall. Okay, so from Claverhouse and those massive religious exercises, you get the launch of the Shakespearean stories. All of them with blood on their hands, which is the biggest profit stream for Rothschild and all the money lending families like Rockefeller and Hanks through the whole of world history. Okay, and it is not beautiful architecture, yeah, but that is Bonnie Dundee of Claverhouse, and the massive massacres even within every country across Europe, Catholic versus Protestant, just to keep the numbers down and to keep the monarchy untouchable. Okay, I think I'll stop there, and I'll listen like the rest of the punters do. Okay, can you see the lions? That is the 3 lions of Austria, yeah, and the massive Bavarian master race stories that mean that the claimants to the Stuart throne are still currently the Duke of Bavaria. (1811) is the date on the clock tower, and you're beginning to realise the significance of the lions, and the 3 lions for the people that are in Longshanks bloodline, and all of the Plantagenet treason that means that Scotland can never have its own monarch. Yeah, and you've got all the Arthurian legends with the unicorns yeah, and the stags and the elks of the Elkinons in the Rothschild bloodline in Frankfurt. Okay, and I believe that will be Claverhouse or Bonnie Dundee in the portal there. And the coat of arms has, it looks as if it is Dia e Mondial, that's the globalism project. Okay, so the 3 lions for Cowdray and all of the Longshanks and masters of the horse interlocks, and that's what